Just as there is no real precedent for Donald Trump's attempted coup in American history, there's also no real precedent for an ex-president facing multiple criminal indictments while he is seeking a second term in the White House. To me, it seems pretty obvious that the other 2024 Republican candidates might want to jump on these charges. You'd think that some of his opponents would want to try and maybe land a punch or two or five on the frontrunner, or maybe they would want to speak up simply because it's the right thing to do. Wouldn't that be nice? Since when has standing up for American democracy been a partisan thing anyway? Never really has been before the last couple of years. But Trump's opponents clearly do not see it that way. Here's what the guy who Trump's armed mob wanted to hang on January 6th had to say just yesterday.
The president's words were reckless that day. I had no right to overturn the election. While his words were reckless, based on what I know, I'm not yet convinced that they were criminal. I really do hope it doesn't come to that, and also for the reason that I do think the Department of Justice has lost the confidence of the American people.
Again, I mean, it's worth restating that this is the guy that Trump's mob wanted to hang, and all he could muster was that it was reckless. So, okay, what about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis? The guy who most political strategists still say maybe there's a chance, a path of him taking out Trump. What did he have to say?
I don't think it serves us good to have a presidential election focused on what happened 4 years ago in January. And so I want to focus on looking forward. I don't want to look back. I do not want to see him. I hope he doesn't get charged. I don't think it'll be good for the country.
I love how he vaguely references what happened 4 years ago in January as if it was like a dinner date or something. You know what's bad for the country, Governor DeSantis? When Republicans refuse to call out the actions of someone who tried to overturn a Democratic election. Maybe South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, the supposed middle-of-the-road guy who's worked with Democrats before. Maybe he'll criticize Trump's attempted coup.
I hold the folks who broke into the Capitol with ill will in their hearts, destroying property, responsible for their actions. I don't hold the former president who didn't show up at the Capitol and threatened my life as responsible.
So it seems that nearly all of the serious contenders to take on Trump have basically made the political calculation that it's better to stand by him in the primary. But here's the thing. It is not working. Mike Pence might not even make the debate stage. DeSantis is still running 30 points behind in Iowa, despite betting big, according to his aides, on the Hawkeye state. And right now, Tim Scott is losing his own state of South Carolina by nearly 40 points. To be fair, it's not exactly working to attack Trump so far either. I mean, the never Trump candidates like Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson are polling in the single digits, well behind most of these Trump apologists. It may be that the electorate is too locked into Trump at this point, and we do have several months to go. But at least Hutchinson and Christie have clearly made the calculation that they won't be remembered as enablers by the history books. That's worth something. The rest of the field, though, is in a position where they are effectively enabling a guy who led an attempted coup. And for what? To maybe win a handful of delegates? I'm seriously asking you this. What are they trying to get out of this? Does Nikki Haley want to be the vice president that badly? Is Tim Scott hoping to be made Secretary of Commerce? What is it? Ron DeSantis just started his second term as governor. Don't even get me started on Mike Pence. I have absolutely no idea what he wants out of this. So what is the overall endgame here for all of these guys and Nikki Haley, of course? Because right now, they are all on track to be a footnote in the history books, an asterisk in the also ran category, maybe an answer on Jeopardy on a good day. Nobody remembers the guy who got 2% in Iowa and dropped out shortly after. But they will remember the folks who put politics over country and refused to stand up for our democracy.